Okay, everybody, welcome to this podcast. David Marshall here, and today we're talking about one of the most challenging areas of manifesting, which is the kind of gap in between something happening and something not happening. And it's where a lot of people fall down. They don't know what to do, and what they end up doing is they end up giving up and saying, hey, this stuff doesn't work. But we know that's not true. We know that it all does work. So that's what we're talking about today. And I just wanted to mention that we've created a course called Manifesting Mastery to support this podcast. It's $4.97. You'll find a link around here somewhere. And just by buying that, it helps pay for time, equipment, hosting, that type of thing. It's a great course. It really will help you with manifesting, and I hope you click the link. And if you want to support the podcast, if you enjoy what we're doing, then please do get yourself a copy. There is, of course, a money-back guarantee. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about that gap. I really hope I do it justice because it's so important to people when you're beginning to really have a look at manifesting. You kind of know that the law of attraction exists, and you've got some kind of experience of it, but not consciously, not kind of with intention, if you like. And that's what this is exactly about. So I'm just going to get up a little bit of something I wrote out earlier, and let's get into it. So what we're going to do is going to have a look at first the steps of manifesting. Then we're going to have a look at the gap, why it exists, what you can do during it, and then how you can make that a really positive experience, because a lot of people just get kind of fed up. So let's firstly have a look at the steps of manifesting. So if you want to manifest something, it means you don't have it. Okay, now that sounds obvious, but the key to that is that you don't believe that you have it. And there are always reasons for that. It may be that you don't believe that you deserve it. It may be that you don't believe it's possible for you. So the reason that you don't have it, or there's some kind of conflict, it might be around money or weight or relationship, whatever it would be, is because somehow there's some kind of lack. And so the steps that we take, I would suggest, are the first thing is write down what it is that you want specifically and how it will feel when you get it. So just take a bit of paper, and this work, although it's the thing that people kind of they don't do, it's the bit that they miss out on. It's kind of like psychic research, and it's why manifesting doesn't work for a lot of people. So do yourself a favor, grab yourself a bit of paper, and then say, okay, what is it that I want specifically, and how will it feel? And what I would suggest you do, this is why I studied hypnosis and NLP, is kind of bring up a feeling, kind of hypnotize yourself into going, what will it feel like? And really allow yourself to feel the delight, if you like, of how you'll feel when that actually appears in your life. Okay, so that's what you're doing first of all. The second thing you're doing is you're writing down. So think about why you don't have it. So say it's around money. So I don't have enough money. Okay, so you're going to do what I have. When I have the money I want, this is how I feel. And this is what I'm going to have. The second bit is you're going to write down why you don't have it. What are your beliefs about money? And just be as honest as you can. You'll arrive ideas about money might be evil, or you don't deserve to have money, or money isn't good for you, or whatever it would be. Just write all those down, and simply by doing that process, you'll become aware of hidden beliefs, if you like, invisible beliefs that you maybe didn't know you had. And what you're going to do then is you're going to go and explore those a bit. So, okay, well, who gave me these? Where did I have these ideas? Where did they come from? And the truth is, they didn't come from you. They came from society. They came from like this common belief that money, for example, is evil, or money, that spiritual people can't have money. That you weren't born with that. There's no truth in that whatsoever. And yet it's a common misconception amongst the kind of new age and the spiritual kind of people. And I think that type of thing, once you become aware of it and realize that you weren't born with any of these beliefs, that by nature you are abundant, by nature you are healthy, by nature you are optimistic and born into this state of grace where you can create anything you want. Once you realize that those are your true beliefs, if you like, you can begin to let the other ones go. But what I will say is that those beliefs and ideas, the ones you're writing down about why you don't have it, and your maybe negative emotions or ideas and beliefs around that, they hold quite an emotional kind of psychic weight. And the reason that it takes time to manifest what you want is that you need to kind of outweigh those old beliefs with new energy. Okay, imagine some scales, and on one side you've got all the old ideas, the kind of pent up frustration and annoyance and ideas and emotions and psychic ideas and all those connections on that scale on one side. And on the other side, what you've got to do is you've got to outweigh, you've got to put more energy into the other side of the scales, so that it's kind of psychically, it has more weight, it has more relevance in your life. And by doing that, what happens is that the weight kind of shifts, and you've got more weight saying I'm financially abundant, or I'm the weight I want, or whatever it is, and then that begins to manifest. So the reason there is that gap is because you've got it takes energy to manifest things, to bring it into physical reality. And if you've got a whole load of weight, kind of psychic energy and emotional energy holding you back, then that's going to limit your ability to manifest it. So the first thing is, what you want to do is start kind of picking apart that weight, start picking apart those old beliefs, and that makes it then easier to manifest. And when you are putting energy into what you want to manifest, it manifests more quickly. All right. So if you didn't have any barrier to manifesting something, like, a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, or, whatever it would be, if you didn't have any barriers, they would manifest instantly. In fact, in kind of your mind, in what we'll call framework 2, in inner reality, it does manifest instantly. As soon as you think it's manifest, but it takes time. And it takes time because it takes energy in order to manifest it. So when there's no barriers, things can happen really quickly. When there are barriers, then things take a bit more time. And they take time because we need to shift this emotional weight. So we get to the gap. What do you do during the gap? Well, remember what you're going to be doing. I would suggest after you do that work of looking at what you want and then looking at why you don't have it, is you're going to create kind of a sentence. It's a conscious manifesting statement that says, I have this, I'm allowed to have it, I'm giving myself permission to have it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take those feelings we talked about initially, and you're going to, for 10 minutes a day, you're just going to put a bit of music on, and you're going to imagine, you're going to allow your imagination to fill in the gaps. Don't force it. What will it feel like to have what you want? Let yourself literally just feel it and see it. And then the key is to let it go and trust. And that is where the problem is. So what I would suggest is, for a couple of weeks, just make sure you're doing that 10 minutes a day. And then the gap is what we're going to talk about. So what do you do during this gap? Well, there's a few key words. And the first one is relax. Just relax. You need to allow reality to do its thing. Now, reality is manifesting constantly. It can't help it. It's just the way it works. And therefore, you're attracting events, whether you're happy or sad or whatever. It's just how this place works. And so the key is to kind of really allow it to do its work, allow it to do its job easily. So you're relaxing, you're enjoying yourself, you're kind of not hassling it. If you find that you are thinking, what's happening or why isn't it working, just acknowledge those, be the observer, and kind of just say, look, I'm not going to think about that. And just bring your mind gently back to the feeling of having what you want. So you're really using your energy, your thoughts and emotions to manage your state, if you like, your state of consciousness around this particular area. And so another thing I would recommend is become aware of small coincidences. And what I mean by that is, it might be dreams, it might be new people coming into your life. It might be, if you're focusing on money and you go out and you find £1 or $1, or somebody gives you a small bit of money. That's all signs. And I don't want to, not kind of, it sounds very religious when we talk about signs, but these are signs that reality, that the work you're doing and you're playing with energy is beginning to bring some results, because there are no coincidences. So if you're focusing on money or health or whatever it is, and you get some kind of sign in a dream, in a feeling, I get feelings first. When I start to feel better about the situation, whatever I'm trying to create, I know that I'm on the right track, and I just relax and I just continue to do that. And then what that builds up to is trust, and eventually it'll build into expectation. If I'm trying to create something because I've been doing it a while, then I actually expect a result. Now, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out. I don't know the timing of it, because, there are other forces involved, if you like, loving forces bringing this into my reality. And so I don't know the detail and the time of what's going to happen, but I know it will happen. I know there will be a result. And so the final part you want to get to is expectation. If you're focusing on something, expect a result, because that's just how reality works. Remember, we're in an ocean of energy. We're not in a physical environment at all. If you were to describe yourself, you're a multidimensional being that creates reality constantly. Anything beyond that description is just a waste of words, because your thoughts, actually your energy, your thoughts, your desires and expectations, which are your energy, actually attract and create the events in your life. So let's just go over this once again so you really you've got it nailed. The key is to think about what are you going to do first, which is where you're going to have a look at what it is that you want and how it will feel. Then you're going to look at the barriers. What's stopping you? What stopped you in the past? Limiting beliefs, just ideas, emotions, thoughts from other people. And then you're going to realize none of these thoughts are yours at all. You weren't born with them, probably from parents and society and all that kind of stuff. So give them away. Just consciously say, I'm not going to believe this anymore. I'm just going to give it away. Just the act of doing that can release you from so many limiting ideas. What you're then going to do is you're going to do your 10 minutes a day with those feelings and emotions and a statement. It's not a mantra. You're not kind of pretending or praying to anybody. You're focusing your intention through a sentence that feels good for you. And by doing that, giving yourself permission, then remember it's you. You're not praying to anybody, a higher self or anybody. It's you. You're doing this. What you're then going to do, and this is where we get into the gap, is you're going to recognize consciously that you've got a built up bunch of energy and psychic energy, emotional energy that's caused you to not have what you want. And you need to pick that apart a little bit. So relax, let that happen, and focus your energy into the other side of the scales to build up that energy with the beliefs that you have what you want. Trust and begin to think, what would it be like if I could expect a result? And you'll start to get that feeling. And if you listen to this kind of podcast a couple of times, then maybe you can kind of get yourself in a place, in a process, because it is definitely a process. It's not, nothing happens by accident. Everything is a feedback for you, and we're here to learn how to use energy to create form, and that our thoughts create literally this whole environment. You're not in a physical environment at all. You never were, you never will be. Easiest to think of it as like a dream, which is why I wrote the book, The Dream We Call Earth. It's a state of consciousness and not a physical environment. That's why the law of attraction works, and all the other stuff that we love and are interested in. So that's it, guys. I hope that makes sense for you. Wherever you find this, if there is a link, please do support the podcast by checking out that Manifesting Mastery course. It is really good, and it will really help you. It will take you into a lot more depth than this podcast, but I hope this helps as well. And I will see you on the next one. Take care, all the best, lots of love, and stay manifesting, stay positive, stay optimistic, and you can create anything that you want. Remember, you are born a conscious creator, you will always be a conscious creator, and you have the power to change your life. That's it. Take care.